Hey, this is Jasmine from New Paradigm Beings. How are you doing? Hope y'all are doing pretty awesome. Thank you so much for those who have supported my channel. I know that I started this channel like about 3 years ago. No, about 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was closer to 3 years. Um, I started my channel as something that would kind of recount the events of my twin flame journey and also kind of like talk about the topics of spirituality and practical everyday life, especially on this obviously if you're on the intense twin flame journey as well. However, my channel, I decided to give my channel a rest because I felt that there was a very strong transition, um, where I was going to be doing a lot of public work, a lot more traditional work, business building, and just basically stepping away from the um, the repetitiousness and the stress of having, just recounting the events of my, excuse me, the events of my twin flame journey, when I felt that what would benefit myself and my viewers the most was actually something that was more probably worthwhile and more applicable to our, or relevant to our lives. I know that there are a lot of people who continue to put their journeys out there, and while that may be helpful, still helpful for a lot of people, I felt that, excuse me again, I felt that it would be best for me to actually maybe come back to that one day. Maybe one day I'll come back to that. But I felt such a revival in my own life to really start to um, get into what I was really called to do, and not, not just kind of, oh, let me start a YouTube channel and let me just blah 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 my story. Um, I think that it's definitely best for me to start to recount like the real everyday interactions that we have with spirit, and that we how we use them in practical, everyday life, when especially in a time when things are feeling more and more intense, and it might feel like we're not going anywhere. It feels like, oh god, there's all this like circus jungle stuff like going on in the world and going on with the planets, and to be honest, like, things like that are always going to be happening. But what are we doing with our lives? Like, how can we keep improving our lives? Like, what was the whole point of realizing that you were a twin flame? Not just like, oh, I'm a twin flame and that's it. No, that's part of, like, that's part of the awakening journey. That's part of the continuum. And so I want to get be clear with my audience that the focus is on like life enhancement through this continuum, and not worrying about like a so-called end destination or physical union or anything like that. So I hope this is reaching somebody. Like, I really do hope this is speaking to someone. I hope that we can, like, come back to earth a little bit. I really do feel like there has been a lot of, including in my ballpark, there's been a lot of self-esteem damage from the hold on, Dad, I'm making a recording. Self-esteem damage from the from the YouTube pop culture of what we call twin flame spirituality, or the videos people put out there, a lot of the mainstream stuff. So again, just keeping it very short, like what is our step-by-step roadmap? Like, what is our what's the point of us? Like, why are we awesome? Like, why do we love to have fun? Why do we matter? Because we are able to just have fun as human people and create shit out of thin air and manifest shit out of thin air because we know what fun is like. We know what magic is like. We have the capacity for magic, and we have to respect that and not get into the outside world's understanding of what capacity is, because we know that doesn't, like a restraining capacity order does not work for divine beings, which we all are. So we have to remember practicality. Like, we have to keep things on the ground when we speak about spirituality, but understanding that, like, we do have a massive capacities for potential. And and with that, I truly believe there's nothing that we can really do for ourselves that's not affecting the other half. So, I mean, if you ever find yourself just laying in bed one day and just kind of like thinking the whole thing through, and you're feeling really negative, you're feeling negative about your journey, you're feeling negative about your, excuse me, if you're feeling negative about your, where you've come on this journey, or at the point you are, just remember, like, you're kind of, you're not in alignment at that time. It's okay to take a deep breath and just kind of shut it down for the night and go to sleep, or take a few deep breaths and go to sleep, because there's those thoughts and those emotions and that energy and that tension is actually being phoned in, like, to the other person or to the other counterpart. And please understand, like, when you feel like that, there's a very good chance that something's being reflected to you from your other half. And so it's good to keep your wits about you and understand that, okay, well, I'm feeling this, and it's like I have my multiple bodies, or my body layers are reacting to something. But this is not who I truly am. I'm actually pretty freaking awesome. I'm like a near perfect manifester in my reality. I love to travel the world. I love to go to music festivals. I love to meet people who are just as keen as I am, and they're like, "Oh my God, I just knew I was going to meet you today. You're freaking awesome." It's just stuff like that. Like, just remind yourself, like, why you jumped in this body in the first place. Don't dwell on the things that make you want to jump back out, because that's really not who you are, So just keep that in mind. Like, the magic didn't come down so that you could be teased by it. You have to remember, like, this is a constant lesson as to what is real. We know we can feel what's real. We can feel what's real. And what sucks. Like, and the things that aren't real, that we don't really need. We don't really need to repeat negative thoughts. We don't really need to repeat self-destructive behaviors and addictions and et cetera, and et cetera. We can understand that, oh, that's actually illusionary, because I can turn that off at any time. The thing I can't turn off is the feelings and the personality that bubbles up without permission. You're always going to bubble up out of your skin. Like, when you least expect it, like when someone's trying to challenge you about your lifestyle, or when someone's trying to challenge you about your decisions, or who you are, or challenge you because maybe they saw a video and they're like, "Oh, you're a what now? You're a spirit? What? You're a guide? You're a what? You're a twin? Like, what's that?" Like, you can feel yourself just kind of like, yeah, that's who I am. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. That's who I am. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird, but yeah, hey, this is what I do in the daytime. I actually love animals. Like, I read tarot cards. You feel yourself, like, you feel that buffer. It doesn't matter what happens outside. It doesn't matter what happens what people say towards you. You just kind of sit there and enjoy the shit out of it. because it gets to a point like you won't even be able to tell, and like, who around you is complimenting you and who around you is trying to be negative. Like, all of that will start to just blend itself in, and that's another sign of like when you're definitely in alignment. Okay. Okay, so that's my little intro. With that being said, I do thank you again for sticking with my channel. I want to get started on, I don't want to call it a series because I don't know what direction I'm going to go with this, but I'm going with what has been placed in my heart. And today, I kind of had a few ideas about the energy I have been feeling of late and how it may pertain to where we are in Venus retrograde. This has to be the most tame, respectable Venus retrograde I have ever experienced so far. And we're only 4 days in. And that says a lot. So, I've been very tranquil. I've been at my parents' house for a little while. I do travel back and forth a few hours for work. I am blessed enough to be able to do my spiritual practice and as well as side work and other artistic gigs to support myself. So I find that to be a very big step that I've achieved. Very happy about that. And of course, I have even bigger dreams ahead of me. But I want to talk about that part. Like, okay, there are bigger dreams, but then there's the time. Okay, like in the physical world, we have a timeline where we're at point A with an aspiration to get to point B. To get to point B, there are little mini steps in between, right? There are many steps that we take to get from to level 1 to level 2. Maybe we have 12 stairs to climb. What are those 12 stairs? Like, what is the condition of the mind and the body, and that it is productive and peaceful, and not anxious and unproductive. And to get to where we need to go, how do we put that into action? Hope I'm making sense so far. I haven't made a video like this in a while. So, well, I've made a little notepad and I want to kind of go through that. Okay. What I've noticed is that, and this probably sounds a little bit cliche, when you're having fun and when you are, when you're putting yourself into an activity and it's very stimulating, that is a telltale sign that you're doing something right. And even after you have that revelation, even if you've had a spiritual awakening, even if you've met your twin and all this other stuff, if you ever feel like, okay, like you've probably had the most fun you've ever had in your life, you made the best project you've ever had in your life, there is a chance that somewhere in your environment, because we still live on this planet, it could be at your job, it could be in your parents' household, someone can come along and whisper their feelings about it, because and I'm not talking about critique, like first of all, like we can always have an open heart and open ears, and when we're truly in alignment, there's never something that we can have to necessarily take as negativity or something that's bringing us down. We should always be open to like something that's like constructive criticism, because that's a wonderful thing. Even if somebody is wrong, like what can you do? Like you're a whole person. All you can do is recognize someone and kind of appreciate constructive criticism as a compliment, even because someone cares enough about you to speak to you and to help you come closer into alignment. You'll know that in your heart, and it's good to have that deciphering. But sometimes we can have other characters who, they deliberately refuse to see the bigger picture, and they see you, and you can even be an object of their desire, right? they see something that you've created or that you're working on that's a lot bigger than their understanding or a lot bigger than they want to admit. And so they'll try to constrain your project, they'll try to constrain you, and try to bring your purpose down to a level that they feel that they can reach and grab and own, because they do not see themselves as on a very good level or high self-esteem level. You're all, and unfortunately, like we have to do a lot of strange things in this world. Like we use technology, but yet technology can kind of make us very anxious. It's kind of a catch-22. It's like you're gonna live with it, but there's a great way. There's a healthy way to be able to live with everything, and so maybe we have to deal with a narcissist or something like that, someone who's showing very aggressive behavior. You're always gonna have maybe something like that around the outskirts of your realm of influence. But it's okay to be able to say, like, okay, well, acknowledge them, acknowledge that you can kind of identify, like, what's going on here, like you can kind of identify their intentions, and like you can meet them at a level and interact, like, okay, thank you so much, like, okay, like, let them have their word and their opinion, and then continue on, like, just continue on in your truth. Learn to shut the interaction down, like, as professionally or as soulfully as you can, and continue with your work. No matter what stage you reach on your journey, like, you like I said, you, like, when you're having the most fun, that's when you're doing something right. That's pure stimulation. That's healthy stimulation, and that's what stimulation is meant for in our brains, so that we can take the abundance that we have, and let our mind use our hands to turn that into technology and turn that into something great. But what I noticed in this journey, I feel like we tend to think that because there's a negative person in our realm, or if there's a negative person still hanging around us, or still kind of appearing in our realm of influence, and that we're doing something wrong. And then like, oh, well, he appeared, that must mean, like, oh crap, like, well, I'm not doing anything, there's something I'm not doing right, and all these feelings were good, and this project was great. And then we start to take on those, before we know it, we start to diminish ourselves so that we can match that, which is kind of a codependent factor, which is what the narcissist is trying to do, right? So most importantly, don't take that. You can't possibly take that personally. You can't possibly take that as truth. Because there is a such thing as negative stimulation, where people will try to criticize and belittle and, like, or beat down a person so that they will possibly go into a fight or flight stamina. And then their brains get initiated. Then their attitudes become initiated. The victim becomes initiated. And the next thing you know, like, their stimulation is fight or flight, and that's not what we're not meant to stay in that stimulation. Our stimulation is supposed to be creative and productive and positive and reproductive. And just know that is the level that you're working on. It's okay to see us all as one. We are all as one. But not all of us. That doesn't mean everyone that we're one with will choose to see it that way as well. And what will happen if you don't if we don't admit that to ourselves. Honestly, like, the whole reason, like, could you picture us, like a lot of us that have come so far into this journey, it would be crazy for us to think that we'd go just join some religion, or like go back to our like go back to your old religious faith, or go back to um some old militant ideology. The whole point was to break out of that. That doesn't mean that darkness doesn't still exist in the world. It's just we're not to allow ourselves to be rebroken, or rebuilt by something that is negative, or something that is still intent on destroying. Like, it's still, we're not here to, it's just we're not intent to destroy anything. That doesn't mean that we're not gonna meet a jerk. So that's something to remember. But I kind of feel like there's this idea that we have to save people like that, or we have to or we're doing something wrong if a jerk pops up in our atmosphere, and then we can find ourselves hindering our own journeys because now we've allowed ourselves to feel that, okay, we're doing too good of a job, we're making too much money, we're doing too awesome. Now there's got to be something wrong with what I'm doing because this one person wasn't pleased. It doesn't go like that, guys. Okay. 1 second. I'm making a video.
I know. I need a headphone. Go. You need a better background.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, so as I was saying, well, just sit there and think about that. Like, what you're doing too good. You're doing too good. So there's something wrong with that. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. It's like, that's why it's really good to catch yourself in negativity. It's like, most likely, like, common sense will tell you otherwise, and that's okay. Like, if you need to go and pursue something that is growing outside of the status quo, that's fine. And that's all a part of listening to what's going on in the inside, and something that's greater. You're not the product of a repetitious message and a repetitious routine every single day. Okay? All right, I hope I was clear on that. I know there's a little bit of distraction here because I am still developing my own video atmosphere. But I hope that was clear. Please tap into the gold mine. Okay, let that liquid gold flow through you. Don't find a reason to grab the pipe and restrain that golden power that flows within you. Okay? No one else can go up here and close your pipe. But there are people out there who want to see you grab your hand and stop you from flowing your own creative juices through you. And unfortunately, that's the case with some people. Okay? Keep doing what you're doing. Like, what can they do? Kill you? That's funny. Okay. Okay, so the next topic I would like to talk about is the daily routine, okay? Daily routine. So I wrote that it's about getting to point A to point B is about creating clarity today in the here and now, even if that clarity of the future is a little diminutive, or if it seems very cloudy, like, and that's usually the case. Like, we usually can't see like this big detailed future, or we can't Sometimes we don't like have all the puzzle pieces to our big future, but we can feel it in our etheric realm. What we can see is what is right in front of us now. But the point of having manifestation power is to be able to integrate the two, the future etheric and the present physical. That's kind of like, manifestation is all about alchemy and integrating the duality into one. You keep doing that over and over and over, and that's how you kind of play with perfection. Like you kind of like you do that alchemy, and you get like a better metal, you get a better metal, and you get a better metal each time. That's how you can dictate your reality. And so what does that look like? I kind of feel in this period in particular, and I don't know how many people feel this way. In Venus retrograde, there's quite a few. I've noticed I've been feeling as if there are some blinders that are placed on my third eye. Like I used to be able to see like, oh, okay, like I'll be doing blah 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 on this date, and I'll be doing blah 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 on that date, like 5 months from now. From this point on, it's really hard for me to see that. It's like, I have no clue what January is going to look like. I actually have no clue what January or December is going to look like, etc. And I'm like, that's kind of an interesting period. Oh well, what I can do is fashion my now. How can I perfect my experience here? And so I was like, okay, well, that gives me a lot of ambition all of a sudden. Okay, I think it's good if I woke up a little earlier each morning, but I really feel it's also great if I went to bed before 10:30 or 10 p.m. So if you kind of had like some inklings that this period is a little bit rough. It is a Venus retrograde, and I'm telling you right now, I've never had a very smooth sandwich when it comes to Venus retrograde. But maybe you can try something like this. If you feel like, I could have a better sleeping routine, let me go and adjust that. That's a good step. Like it's a good step to get your sleep in order, and it's something that you can control, and it's something that's minute. Like you're not trying to control something that's huge. You're just like you're making these small routine changes where you are right now. So sleeping routine is something that I learned to adjust. I decided to have a more particular meditation routine. I decided, okay, you know what? As soon as I get up and brush my teeth, wash my face, I'm going to do Kundalini. I'm going to do a Kundalini meditation in the morning. And then when I have breakfast and when I maybe check some emails or respond to some clients, I'm going to lay down and do maybe an angel cleanse. And that's something that's good for me. I tend to need quite a bit of flushing at this time. And that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes we'll need sevenfold what we usually need on another part of the year. Every time of the year is a little different from the last for us. So that's one thing. And sometimes like I think, and I go to the chiropractor once a day usually. And I decided, well, after the chiropractor, I'm feeling pretty good. I have enough energy to do a YouTube video. Why didn't I do that? And so I got on and I made up some ideas to do a YouTube video. Those are some things that really helps me out. Okay. So maybe that's good. Maybe some of that you feel is good for you guys. Add a little more meditation to your schedule. Maybe try to cook at least one of the meals that you eat a day. What's happening is that's giving you a little more control over your reality. And I believe that can cause, when the mind understands that it's relevant in the body, and when it's relevant in the mind and the body start to remember that it's relevant to the soul's existence. Wow, the soul can use us. The soul is using us. Wow, like we can feed the body. I can cause the hands to move, and the hands cut the lettuce, and we boil the lettuce with water, and Jasmine puts that in her body, and her body can function, and that creates a good home for her soul. I believe that creates it creates a natural ambition. And with that little spark of ambition, there are other ambitions that come from that. Like, wow, you know what? I really want to talk about my experience. Let me go on YouTube and, well, let me pull that out. Let me put that on YouTube. Maybe there are people who think that's really, really helpful. Okay, and that's just like, it gets a ball rolling. It keeps a ball rolling. And then, like, once you start that every day, um, like, you can build something big, or you can get closer to your larger aspiration. Like, maybe you were looking for a certain job. Maybe what you want out of that job becomes more clear, and then you know what to kind of put yourself out for. Um, Excuse me. Or maybe, like, your network becomes larger because you're reaching more people, and then opportunities pop up in your network because you aren't so bogged down, or you don't feel like you're in such of a rut anymore. You feel like you can use a divine power again. Um, okay, so using the daily routine to get to your larger aspirations. Okay? Okay, so, and on that note, there actually have been certain supplements or certain behaviors that have really been helping me um, come out of this fog, or come out of this what feels like a stagnation. Again, it's not. I don't really want to call it a stagnation. It's just kind of a minimizing of actions. Doing things that are important, but in a bite-sized fashion, that are not exhausting the mental sphere. It's using the mental sphere in a way that that it can handle, like, at the moment. Um, I have been using the psychotropic supplement called Kratom. Um, it's something that you can liken. It's all natural. It just comes from the powder of a leaf that is grown in Asia, Southeast Asia. It can be likened to an anti-anxiety medication. It's natural. It's all natural. Um, it's something that can. It's something that kind of, like, when I think of it, like, usually when I'm anxious, usually when I'm tapped into too many things, just for whatever reason, I have all these channels just going off like this. What Kratom can do, it takes these channels, and the channels kind of ease down a little bit, to where the signals can straighten out and flow outward a lot easier, instead of electrify and zigzag and hit all these points that make, that cause us a lot of dis-ease. And of course, like, at times it can cause meditation to be quite difficult if we aren't really tapping into that within like the first 30 minutes of meditation, if we're not tapping into that a calmer zone. It's a great meditative aid. um so again, like, it's a natural leaf that comes from Southeast Asia. It's spelled Kratom. And there are a lot of people who sell Kratom. Usually, like, you'll have a local dealer, and they'll be fine. Like, that's a very trusted place to get Kratom. You have a lot of smoke shops that sell Kratom, but I haven't really had the greatest experience with Kratom from smoke shops, because I feel that they're too commercial, or like they've been processed a lot more. I would not recommend liquid Kratom. It did nothing for me. But it can be bought online, usually from stores. I actually have a friend who sells Kratom, if anyone wants that information. but you can buy it online in like a bag or maybe sometimes huge bags. I have a friend that has a bag like this big, and he got it for close to $100, which sounds like a lot, but there are pounds and pounds of it, and it's really kind of changed my life. I got to a lot of places because I use this responsibly. Um, the green Mang Da or the white Mang Da um, is the strain of kratom that I highly advocate. It's my favorite. Um, and it tastes really bad. So if you use it, like, you might want to either place it into capsules if it's not already, or mix it with Gatorade, because Gatorade is like, it knows how to mask weird flavors. So yeah, you can do kratom. I'd say you can start with like 6 capsules of it and see if that, like, wait about an hour and see if that gives you a pleasant effect. If that doesn't work, you can like go up to 10 capsules or like however many you need. But of course, like, don't overwhelm yourself, because it is like a strong medicine from Earth, and so you want to feel that out responsibly. There's really there's no negative effects of kratom. Like, it's not like a weed or alcohol where you have like this hangover. It goes through your body and then it just wears off. Like, there's no negative side effects. It's just very friendly, and it's one of those things of course it's legal. It's extremely helpful, and I hope it stays that way. I hope it stays legal for people to use as they need. Okay. So, if you have any questions about that, I can put more information in the, please feel free to comment me with questions as well. Okay, and I would love to reach and help people. Okay, all right, another thing that has been helping me is red wine. I've been having a very good relationship with red wine lately. I feel, especially because I've been having a lot of sinus issues, red wine really helps, because it's so acidic and there's such a strong tannin nature to red wine. It cuts down a lot of my mucus, and it'll cut a lot of reactions that I would have to yeast and dairy, and I don't really eat a whole lot of those things for obvious reasons, but red wine really knows how to calm the stomach as well as the spirit. It's great for your heart. And I kind of feel like it may be great for females right now. I just, like, that's all intuition. Like, I really feel like it'd be good for females to get a little red wine in their system, if they want to calm down and, like, really let those juices go through their body. And that's what I'm getting. Like, I'm getting like red wine is good for cutting impurities and cutting maybe things that creep into our spirit and our body. It's been a very good dietary aid. I've just and yeah, like, I've actually had like I've been close to like 2 or 3 glasses a day, which, I mean, everybody's different. Like, the FDA might say that's excessive for a female, but whatever. FDA what, go with what your body feels. Haven't been feeling any, like, it hasn't been doing anything negative to me. I've been feeling like, I've been drinking like a powerful red fruit every day. Like, for some reason, like, red wine has been feeling like a powerful, sacred red fruit that has been helping my spirit tone down, focus, and keep my arteries, like, strong or something like that. So that's my intuition on red wine. It's something that might help all of you who use alcohol in moderation. I've actually not been drinking any other alcohol but just red wine for now. And that might be something that is kind of like retrograde culture that I've been picking up. Maybe it's something that my spirit's using as a buffer for the retrograde period. Okay. Another thing that has been helping me for this retrograde period and just being focused on the here and now, Kundalini yoga meditation and breath of fire. the Kundalini yoga, kriya, and meditation has to do with using prana and using blunt life force to burst through blockages in the body, the blood, and in the existential realms, like in the path of life in general. I've been doing this since the summer. It's an extremely good yoga for transitional periods when things are like cut and go. Or when people are still recovering from like a huge, just a huge move or a huge shift or a huge transition where old stale energies are still trying to entertain us. Even maybe we're still entertaining old thoughts and old things, and maybe like we have twin, maybe a twin is entertaining old things, and then we're playing into it in some way. Kundalini uses prana. It's it can be a very intense yoga, but if you stick with it with a smile and like when you feel the exercises, if you can really feel what that's doing for your body and what it's doing for your spirit, you can feel very powerful. You can feel the fire just burning away things, burning away like bad thoughts, burning away bad toxins. And that's what it's meant to do. It's using power and fire to detoxify and purify. And that's what fire does. Fire has to do with manifestation and purification. So and breath of fire, as some of you might know, breath of fire is and side note, they don't recommend this if you're within the first few weeks of pregnancy or when you're on the first few days of menstruation. Breath of fire is like when it's like you're panting like a dog, and sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to perfect, but that breath is like pumping in and out, and it's like it's almost like when you're using that breath, it's building prana, or it's getting like dust particles in and out of your system. It's like it's flushing things out of your system. And there are exercises where you'll pull up your organs, and like you pull up that that female based Kundalini energy, and you use that to go all the way up your body and flush through your crown. And it's actually something I would highly recommend for people who are on the twin flame journey. I feel like if you haven't already, once you start to kind of, and usually like it's the first thing that pops up on the search engine, like Kundalini meditation, or I think, yeah, like once you start to kind of like experiment with this, you'll see what I mean. Like it's extremely beneficial to getting the crap out, just like right then and there, getting the crap out, doing the work, feeling the burn, doing the work, and getting it out. Very, very beneficial. Okay. Fourth thing that I feel is beneficial in this time, charcoal baths. Try taking a bath with activated charcoal. Careful, because it could stain your tub black, but you can wash it out. So we've all kind of learned a little more about activated charcoal within the past few years. It's basically like a scum magnet. You know, it's an impurity magnet. It sucks up impurities from anything. Teeth, pores, tabletop surfaces. That's what activated charcoal does. Okay, and we know that it's good to take in the body because what does it do? It does the same thing inside of the body. Well, just like salt baths, which you can, of course, take your salt bath. Putting activated charcoal into your bath will do the same thing. It will zap things right off of your skin, right out of your aura, right out of your body. As you soak and you put your intentions into that water. I mean, that's common sense. That kind of goes without saying. One thing I think is also helpful. One thing that I kind of have this feng shui instinct where when I took a bath, it didn't feel right for me to let the water out until I was outside of the bath. Because I always felt like it was, if I took the drain tap off before I was out of the bath, it felt like it was sucking my chi away. Kind of strange, maybe, but some people might feel that way. I was like, okay, I need to get out of the bath before I let the thing out, because that would be bad feng shui if I was in there. In this case with charcoal baths, I think it's a great idea to stay in the tub and stay in the tub until all the water is actually drained out. I just felt that. I felt like, I think it's not, the bath isn't complete until all the water is out and I'm still in the tub, and then I can get out. Also, it's pretty practical if, when you're letting the water out, like, you can take that time to start scrubbing the black away from the tub. And, I mean, it can be a hassle, but it's worth it. Like, it comes with a little bit of work. It can be a hassle, but it's worth it. It's okay. Like, it's okay to, to change the diaper, You gotta change, it's like having a baby, but you gotta change diapers. It was good. I had one today. It was a great bath. So, that's one thing. Okay, and my last pointer for the day. Stay inside if you really feel the need to stay inside. Like, if you've been comforted by the soft sheets and the, soft sheets, and maybe your cat, if your dog's been a little too energetic for you, and you've been feeling like, okay, I just need to just lay back and watch a movie and just kind of listen to the rain outside. It's been raining nonstop out here, but it's a great feeling. Then you might want to listen. You should listen to that feeling. It's something that's very recuperative. And we've kind of been like, this year has been a very strange relationship between Venus and Mercury, and Venus, Mars, and even Mercury. So I feel like, for the girls, it's okay to kind of recline for a little bit, relax, decompress, and just kind of respect our path a little bit more. Stay out of negativity, not entertain the illusions, kind of like keep yourself alive. Obviously keep yourself, keep yourself like feeling your life, feeling what's inside. You don't have to get in your car and turn on the ignition, or you don't have to get in your body and turn on some ignition if you don't feel like that. It's okay to have that reclining period. It's okay to have that, to be respectful of the soft things. Because right now, it really does seem like it's the little things that are mattering right now. Like the little things that you are going to keep in touch with. You don't have to go and, this might not be the time to go and do something crazy and bombastic, but maybe just sit down and continue an art project, or finish, or, maybe finish one. Finish a blog, or like maybe just do something for $100. Just do something that's just small but incredibly relevant to your steps, like to going up that escalating path. Letting things start themselves. Even if that means like just appreciating, okay, washing my hair, washing my face, brushing my teeth, going to my appointment, coming home. Let me take a nap. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to cook my dinner. I'm going to watch a show I love to watch. That way, like, you can really feel the energy within you and like understand that that's still the point of this journey. That's what gets you into love and out of trouble. Okay, guys, I really hope this made sense, and I hope I touched somebody with this. It was kind of a longer video. I kind of just decided to go right into it. thank you guys so much. I really, even if you're just one person, like, and if this helps you, awesome. Like I'm really restarting my channel all over again from scratch. So guys, like, please take care. Please share this video if you feel it's gonna help somebody. But until next time, I'm really glad I was able to make this for everyone. Take care. Have a glass of wine. Have a little green. Cook a nice dinner. Have a nice bath, and kiss your loved ones goodnight. Okay. This is Jasmine from New Paradigm Beings, and I hope you're feeling awesome. All right. Bye bye.